There are stories that people laugh at before they fear them. A frog standing upright, human hands, leather skin, eyes reflecting headlights on an empty road late at night. The Loveland Frog, one of the strangest cryptids in American folklore. Not terrifying, not elegant, almost ridiculous. And maybe that's why people dismiss it so quickly. Because humans are comfortable mocking things they don't understand. Especially when those things challenge categories we've already decided are fixed. Hi, my name is Steph Fitzgerald, and I'm the experience architect. I design how systems shape human experience. And this is Experience Systems, where leadership, psychology, and design converge into living systems. But on Sundays, we step somewhere darker, a little stranger, a little softer, a little more midnight. Less lecture, more candlelight, more stories told too late at night. So welcome to Creatures of the Night. And tonight, we talk about the Loveland Frog and why ridicule is one of the fastest ways systems avoid curiosity. The legend begins in Loveland, Ohio. A lonely road, a bridge near the river, late at night. A driver reports seeing 3 strange figures, roughly 3 feet tall, humanoid, frog-like, one allegedly holding a wand. And over the years, the sightings continue. Police officers, drivers, people passing through at the edge of exhaustion and uncertainty. And what makes the Loveland Frog so fascinating is not whether it's real. It's how quickly people turn it into a joke. Because some myths become terrifying and some become absurd. But both responses serve the same purpose: distance. Humor is often treated as harmless, but psychologically, humor can also function as avoidance, as distancing, as emotional control. If something feels strange, uncomfortable, hard to classify, humans often laugh first. Not because something is funny, because ridicule restores certainty. And the moment something becomes ridiculous, people stop engaging with it seriously. And systems use this constantly. Ideas get mocked before they get examined. People get caricatured before they get understood. Because curiosity requires vulnerability. Ridicule does not. Organizations do this more than they realize. Someone proposes a different approach, a new structure, a concern that doesn't fit the dominant narrative. And instead of evaluating it, the room laughs. Not aggressively, sometimes subtly. A tone shift, a smirk, a dismissive joke. And suddenly, the idea changes status. Not because it was disproven, because it became socially unsafe to explore further. That is an incredibly powerful system mechanic. Because ridicule doesn't just suppress ideas. It trains behavior. People learn quickly which thoughts will cost them status, which observations will get reframed as overreaction, which curiosities are permitted, and which become liabilities. And eventually, people stop offering certain thoughts altogether. Not because they disappeared, because they adapted to survive the environment. Humans are meaning-making creatures. We constantly attempt to organize uncertainty into recognizable categories. Frog, human, animal, person. And when something appears between those categories, the brain experiences tension, cognitive dissonance, classification instability. The Loveland Frog is unsettling because it violates boundaries. Too human to be fully animal. Too animal to be fully human. And humans struggle with ambiguity because social ambiguity, especially identity ambiguity, because categories create predictability, and predictability creates perceived safety. So when something challenges the category system itself, people often respond with mockery instead of examination. Some people live their entire lives inside this dynamic. Too analytical for one group, too emotional for another, too creative for corporate spaces, too strategic for artistic spaces, too much, not enough, too strange, too intense. And systems often react to unclassifiable people the same way they react to strange myths, through simplification, through labeling, through reduction. Because ambiguity makes systems uncomfortable. But some of the most valuable people inside any system are exactly the ones who don't fit neatly into existing categories. The people who connect unrelated ideas. The people who see patterns other people miss. The people who challenge assumptions simply by existing differently. And historically, those people are often mocked before they are understood. The Loveland Frog is often seen near bridges. And bridges matter in mythology, in psychology, in storytelling, because bridges represent transition, movement between worlds, crossing from one state into another. And threshold spaces have always unsettled humans. Swamps, forests, shorelines, bridges at night, places where categories blur. And maybe that's why the Loveland Frog persists. Not because people believe in frog creatures, but because humans understand what it feels like to stand in between identities, between expectations, between versions of yourself, trying to cross something without fully knowing who you'll become on the other side. Strong systems do not punish curiosity. They investigate it. Weak systems often protect certainty at all costs, because certainty maintains hierarchy, predictability, control. But innovation, creativity, transformation all begin inside uncertainty, inside things that initially sound strange or unrealistic or impossible. And the danger is not that strange ideas exist. The danger is creating environments where people become afraid to explore them honestly. Because once ridicule becomes the predominant response, curiosity disappears. And systems without curiosity eventually stop evolving. Maybe the Loveland Frog was never about a creature. Maybe it was always about the discomfort of encountering something that doesn't quite fit our existing story of reality. Something strange, something ambiguous, something difficult to classify. And maybe the question isn't whether the Loveland Frog is real. Maybe the question is, what happens inside systems where ridicule replaces curiosity? What gets lost? When people become more concerned with appearing correct than remaining open? And how many ideas, people, possibilities have been dismissed simply because they arrived wearing unfamiliar shapes? Because not everything strange is meaningless. And not everything ridiculous is wrong. Sometimes the things that challenge our categories most deeply are the things trying to expand them. Good night, my creatures. It's time to rise.